Let's dive into the absolute circus that is the UFC right now. Islam Makhachev is ducking featherweights while licking his lips at the welterweight buffet. Artem Vakhitov just got fumbled harder than Francis's boxing career timeline. And Royval versus Kape? It's a banger. But Dana, put the goggles down and build a real card. We've got a lot to unpack, and it's gonna get harsh, so grab a protein shake or a cheap pint and let's get started. So Islam Makhachev's grand plan, if Jack Della Maddalena beats Belal Muhammad for the title at UFC 315, is to stroll up to welterweight and scoop a second belt. Sounds amazing, right? Except for one tiny little thing. He's blatantly ducking Ilia Topuria. Let's not sugarcoat it. Every single comment under that Instagram post is Ilia memes, gifs of dudes running, and even people comparing Islam to John Jones. And not in the GOAT way. The duck energy is strong. And honestly, it's deserved. Now I get it, Islam doesn't want his career to be defined by beating featherweights. Fair enough. But here's the problem. This featherweight is Ilia freaking Topuria. Not some 10-2 guy on a 2-fight win streak. This is a PPV mega fight. It's the biggest fight you can make below 170. So what's the holdup? Oh, but he wants to fight JDM if he wins the belt. Mate, you beat Moicano in a minute, and now you're planning your comeback for October? You're not Conor McGregor. You don't get to sip tea in Dagestan and wait for the plot to unfold. And what is this alliance immunity bull with Belal? They trained together once, and now they're blood brothers who can't fight. Since when is the UFC a no-hitter baseball club where we don't strike our teammates? If everyone refused to fight their mates, we'd be watching the same 5 guys play patty cake. This is what I hate. Makhachev is out here with a buffet plate. Oh, I'll skip Ilia, give me a side of JDM with a sprinkle of legacy. No, you'll eat what's on the damn plate. And that's Ilia Topuria. Served up June 29th, 5 rounds, co-main event, International Fight Week. Eat your vegetables, Islam. And while you're at it, book Arman Tsarukyan versus Oliveira. Let's stop playing this diva game. No more I'll wait for the winner. No more I'll only fight if the vibes are right. This ain't a yoga retreat. It's a blood sport. Right, let's talk about something that actually made my blood boil. Artem Vakhitov, former Glory light heavyweight champion, wins on Contender Series. Big hype, big future. What does the UFC do? They offer him 12 and 12. 12,000 to show, 12,000 to win. That's what you offer to a regional featherweight who got in because Dana saw a spinning back kick on his Instagram reel. Not a guy who went 1-1 with Alex Pereira. This isn't some random Jose Pepperoni from Brazil. It's Artem freaking Vakhitov. And now, instead of debuting in the UFC against a fun top 15 matchup, he's fighting Rico Verhoeven in the main event of Glory 100. That's the kickboxing equivalent of throwing John Jones in there with Ngannou. Massive. Let me read you what Vakhitov said. The UFC rules were strict. My team tried to negotiate, but no changes were possible. Oh, but they had the budget to give Steiny from the Nelk Boys $250,000 to sit cage side and pretend to know what a Kimura is. Where are the priorities? Meanwhile, Angela Hill's out here making more than Vakhitov ever would have. I mean, I'm happy he left. He's probably making $500,000 for this Glory fight, and he deserves it. But UFC, you fumbled hard. You lost Cedric Doumbé, you're about to lowball Luke Riley, and you let Vakhitov walk to a headline fight. Vakhitov isn't asking for $200K flat. He's probably asking for $40K to show, no win bonus, just a little respect. And they still said no. UFC's over here acting like they're broke. Since when did Disney-owned billion-dollar companies have tighter wallets than your nan during Christmas? And you want to know what's crazy? This actually hurts Francis Ngannou. Because now Rico Verhoeven's busy. That's one less money fight for him. So even in 5D chess, the UFC might have screwed over the PFL too. Or maybe that was the plan all along. Who knows anymore? Now, onto something that actually makes me smile. Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape at UFC 317, International Fight Week. This fight is chaos. Royval's bringing the goggles, Kape's bringing the controversy, and I'm bringing the popcorn. But let's not get carried away. This should not be main card. Put it as prelim headliner. Give it the hype it deserves. But don't make it out like it's a flyweight title eliminator. And honestly, I don't know who wins this. Royval's volume is great, but his chin is sketchy. Kate's been getting away with razor-thin wins. I mean, Dvorak arguably beat him, and Bruno Silva gave him hell. He just lands the bigger shots and squeaks out decisions. If this were 5 rounds, I'd lean Royval. But in 3, I think Kape has the bigger moments. Royval's jab is peppery, like an undercooked steak. Kape lands the flashy stuff, and judges love flashy stuff. So I'm leaning Kape 29-28, probably winning the first 2 and surviving a Royval comeback in round 3. And let's be honest, this also means Kai Kara France versus Pantoja 2 might be happening, which I'm not thrilled about. That's a fight night headliner, not an International Fight Week co-main. Let's not waste prime card space on fights that should be tucked in on ESPN+. So to recap, Islam Makhachev is dodging Ilya like he's Neo in the Matrix. UFC handed Vakhitov a lunchable and expected him to sign. And Royval versus Kape is an absolute war, just not a main card war. The UFC's losing control of its roster. Dana's hanging out with YouTubers instead of locking down real talent. And the matchmaking is getting dictated by vibes. This ain't Coachella, it's the fight business. If you enjoyed this rant, slap that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered MMA takes, and drop your predictions below. Who wins, Makhachev versus Ilya, if it ever happens?